Samsung A50s smartphone was launched in September 2019. The phone comes with a 6.4-inch Super AMOLED touchscreen display with an aspect ratio of 19.5:9. It is powered by Exynos 9610 processor. It comes with 6GB of RAM. As far as the cameras are concerned, the Samsung A50s on the rear packs a triple camera setup consisting of a 48-megapixel main shooter and 8-megapixel ultra-wide lens along with a 5-megapixel depth sensor. There is a 32-megapixel camera on the front for selfies. This device is based on Android 9.0 Pie and packs 128GB of inbuilt storage that can be expanded via microSD card up to 1TB. It is powered by a 4000 mAh battery with 15-watt fast battery charging support. The A70 is good enough to justify its mid-range price tag, and soon you will know why. The Galaxy A70 is actually similar to the Galaxy A50 and follows the same 3D glass-stick design language, where the glass-stick stands for glass-like plastic. With a 6.7-inch Infinity UE screen on the front, the phone is not the most compact option available in the market, but it is still surprisingly manageable. The polycarbonate body with all the curves in the right places makes the phone feel sleek and relatively light in the hands. On the rear, the Galaxy A70 stacks a 32-megapixel with 1.7 aperture primary sensor, 8-megapixel wide-angle shooter and a 5-megapixel depth sensor. As for the selfies, the Galaxy A70 uses the same 32-megapixel sensor on the front as well. There's scene optimizer, live focus portrait mode, flaw detection and many more options on the phone. Samsung has included 240fps slow-mos at 1080p, which should be fun to play around. The Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 SoC is currently placed into Galaxy A70. Samsung has paired 2 GHz octa-core chipset with 6GB of RAM and 128GB of storage. There is a dedicated microSD card slot that can hold additional 512GB storage. It can handle demanding games, offers great battery life, has super fast charging and the full version of Samsung Pay that lets you go card free. Samsung Galaxy M40 is the fourth installment in the company's online exclusive M series. It's also the first M series phone to include a competent Qualcomm chipset and Samsung's striking One UI software. The front of the M40 is dominated by an Infinity O display, whereas the O represents a punch hole. Samsung has managed a 91% screen-to-body ratio, and that makes Galaxy M40 quite manageable and handy. The Galaxy M40 has a 6.3-inch screen which has FHD Plus resolution amounting to 409 ppi. It shows punchy colors, can achieve a maximum brightness of up to 480 nits, and the calibration is quite good. The Galaxy M40 is driven by Qualcomm Snapdragon 675 chipset with 6GB of DDR4 RAM and 128GB of internal storage. M40 have 32-megapixel with 1.7 aperture sensor as a primary rear camera. The primary sensor gets the assistance of 5-megapixel depth sensor in portrait mode. There is another 8-megapixel sensor on the back that can capture ultra-wide-angle shots. Apart from these rear cameras, there is a 16-megapixel with a 2.0 aperture sensor for a selfie on the front of the phone. The Galaxy M40 fixes what has traditionally been a limitation of affordable Samsung phones. This time Samsung particularly focuses on the performance hardware and uses the popular tried and tested Qualcomm chipset instead of the value Exynos SoC chipset.